This is Super SaaS Bros with Cory and Jayde. Let's jump in. Hello all. I am Cory.
What's up, guys? This is Jayde.
This is Super SaaS Bros. So I've been lately loving to just jam out about stuff that's happening in like almost like acting as like a little news reporter. So I am happy to start with that again because there's some other stuff that's popped up, and it's interesting to me every single week that this new shit is popping up. So I'm gonna jam out on that first, if that's cool.
Dude, I love that.
One, yeah, it's crazy. I want your opinion on this. So Reddit is suing Claude, and they're suing them for basically scraping their website and using their data to train their models. That's the allegation.
Okay.
I'm curious to your thoughts. To me, Reddit is a public forum. You can go read literally anything on Reddit. So I'm like, do they even have a say? Because this isn't the first time. I don't know if you saw, but New York Times also was suing OpenAI for like the same thing, saying they're like, well, you're taking all our stuff and training. I was like, but you're a news like station. Like you publish this stuff publicly for people to read and consume. Mm-hmm. So I was like, what do you think? Like, is there any merit behind like them suing these like AI labs on like training their models on it?
Yeah, I think on one hand, it's like it's public information, it's a public forum. There are other websites that reference your data. So kind of like, what's the difference? Maybe the hand they're trying to play is like almost like plagiarism in a sense. Like you're taking our data without giving us the credit where it's coming from. And because you're doing that, where we basically host and own the data, even though you can see it, yeah, maybe there's like a plagiarism aspect to it in a sense. So yeah, I would say like maybe that's kind of the only grounds they have.
It's weird. It's weird.
That is
I
kind of
find it
weird.
weird because I think to them it's just, to me, the way it's sounding, it sounds like a money grab, because now like New York Times has signed a licensing deal with Amazon to
Okay.
use all of their data to train their models. So what I think they want is just to get paid for it.
Oh, for sure.
To me, that's just it, right? I mean, I guess they wouldn't be suing otherwise, but they want to get paid either, through legal action or get paid by actually signing a legit partnership. So, but anyways, I personally find it weird. I'm like, if you are posting something publicly and you are scraping that data, like, to me, it's free data. And if you're storing it, hey, that's just, I mean, you grabbed it. It'd be the same thing if I just went to an article in New York Times right now, just copy and pasted it, threw it in a knowledge base for some model that I'm using, and just called it a day, right? There's literally no difference. They're just doing it at a larger scale. So to me, it makes no sense. I disagree with them having to. I don't think they have any good grounds to sue them.
Yeah. Yeah, 1000%. I actually do agree with that. But now that you're talking, I think I just like came up with like a billion, like with a B, dollar idea.
Unicorn.
Yeah. Everyone is now using some sort of chat GPT. And there's probably going to be a world, probably very soon, just like Netflix has now added ads and Prime Video has added ads. And you can probably see where I'm going with this. Imagine a world where it doesn't matter what kind of like chat client you use, as you're asking for information, it presents you an ad first before it responds back with what you asked, right? So it's basically a way for businesses to just go in, pay whatever they need to pay, and then the ChatGPT, the Claude, the whatever is like, before I answer this question, this chat is sponsored to you by Colgate Crest. You know what I mean? And it starts talking about, and oh my God, like, yeah, that's definitely going to be the future. Like, that's definitely going to exist.
I feel like people. I don't disagree with you. I feel like people will get annoyed with that. But the same way, I think people get annoyed with Netflix bringing in ads now too.
But they would just pay for a premium version so that they don't get it.
Totally. you're still gonna get people that are up in arms about it. They're like, well, it wasn't this way before. They're like, well, too bad, you know? Because yeah, I totally see a spot like that as well. And even as you're saying that, not just ads, dude. I've been thinking about this a lot. Ads inside of these chat models, I feel like will definitely come, whether right in the chat or on exteriors of the interface. But more and more, I've been thinking about SEO with chat models.
Okay.
So a lot of these chat models, I think, still use like tool function calling to like, Google search essentially, right? Or whatever search engine. But there are people out there right now that are trying to figure out like, is there a way to optimize SEO for chat models specifically? So when if you go to ChatGPT and you're asking for like, hey, I'm looking for a software development agency in Toronto, right? How do you get to be one of the answers inside that chat model when someone's asking?
Yeah.
And so people are trying to test. They're like, well, is it just regular SEO, like, through Google? Or is there other ways to be more efficient about it? There is right now, I don't think there is really a solid answer, but I've been thinking a lot about it. And I'm like, I don't know how to properly optimize for this yet. And I feel like there's like a gold mine here that if you find the answer to share that information, I think people would want to know how to do that. And I think that that's a whole business on its own.
1,000. It's like AIEO, AI engine
Yeah.
optimization.
AIEO. Yeah.
And it's like, what input tokens would you need to basically have in your site that would basically be maximized so that the input tokens that go into the chat are basically doing like a semantic search, not a keyword search through public data.
Yep. And I wonder if there's something to say as well if I was to just go to like OpenAI and be like, I want to give you a bunch of my data to use as pre-trained data and see if that also like helps. I don't know.
Meaning like, hey, here's all my data. I want you to pre-train your model so that when people are searching for software agencies, you already pre-trained it.
Correct.
Mm. It's like weighted in that front.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like there's also a business model there. OpenAI would probably be like, yeah, sure, but I'm going to charge you this amount to do that,
Yeah.
which would be interesting. I don't know. So I've been thinking about a lot of that because now you'll see if you're signing up for any, I would say, any new platform, just anything new that you go, when they're asking how'd you find us, usually it's typical like socials, right? Or like, organic search or whatever. Well, a lot of them now there's a selection for like ChatGPT. Like I found you through this, right? So people were trying to now figure out like how much of their traffic is coming from people searching up through a foundational model. So
Yeah.
yeah, and I was listening to a podcast, and this guy's business, like I think he said he realized that nearly like 40% of his traffic was coming through like a ChatGPT search,
Oh, cool.
which is like bonkers, right?
It
He's like,
is.
I don't even know how to fully capture this yet. He's like, cool that it is, right? But he's like, I don't know how to take better advantage of it,
Yeah,
right?
capitalize on it.
Yeah. So, anyways, I feel like I'm gonna spend some more time in this space over the next like several months. Like, try to think about like how do we optimize for this because I don't think anyone knows really the most efficient way beyond just regular SEO methods that people already know, right? So,
Like
yeah,
that. That's a great
yeah,
idea.
pretty crazy, right? I don't know if you saw, so ChatGPT had a couple business updates yesterday.
As they do.
So interestingly enough, and this is like very applicable to some of the projects we worked on and stuff we're working on right now, for any business plan and above, essentially, there is like a whole slew of new tools that they've given access to, like Gmail, Google Drive, Outlook, Teams, HubSpot, Zoom, you name it. We've talked about this before, right? How these like massive companies can now, bring a new update and it like can make like other things obsolete. Now, I watched this video. It's like 22 minutes. And what's interesting enough, I think when they call it a tool, but to me, it's not necessarily doing anything with it. It's like using it as like a knowledge source. So it's able to pull information from all these places. So like Gmail, for instance, it can be like, the example they gave was like, update me on like the Q3 sales project or something like that, and go through, my Gmail and HubSpot. And it was able to go through all that and pull it. But not once did I see them say, okay, now send an email or update my HubSpot
Right.
or
Data.
this. So I think they have all these integrations, and
Yep.
they also now have like what they call the custom connectors through MCPs that you can add as well. So it's cool, but to me, it's still just like it's knowledge retrieval is still the name of their game, but it is like definitely like that is like one step away, one separation away from being able to take an action in any of those, right?
Why do you think they're not doing any writing of data to sources yet?
That's a good question. I don't know, dude. I mean, I really don't know. Did you have a thought on that?
I think it's like legal and compliance. Like they don't want
Really?
to take ownership or responsibility if the AI messes up. If I say to send an
Ah,
email to one person and it does something else, hey, I'm suing you because you did this, and it'd be a huge lawsuit.
dude, I've
So
never thought of that.
yeah,
That's so true.
yeah, it's probably something like that. Maybe
Wow.
I don't know.
Yeah, I guess in that case, you'd have to, they would have to be like, yo, you need to sign this or agree to these terms that, like, we take no liability for any actions that this thing takes if you are prompting it to do something, right?
Yeah, and then if it messes up, news is gonna break out. People are gonna churn. Like at that scale, when you're scaled so high, you can crash so fast. So yeah,
Damn. But now this is interesting because there's a lot of like agent builders out there right now.
yeah,
But I guess maybe in those cases, like on Lindy or a Relevance or an N8N, because you're building it, the liability is on you. So they don't care. Because that same thing could happen. You could create an agent that could send an email through like an N.
yeah,
But if it like sends the wrong email or sends a bad response, are you going to sue at it or
yeah.
not because you built it?
N doesn't have like freedom though, right? Like it's like you don't talk to it. It's like based on this, do this, right?
You can like through
Okay.
there's certain things like I think it's called Telegram where you can actually like like talk to it or send it like a message or something like that
Okay.
and interact with it, not in a true chat interface form but in some way where you are sending it a message.
There is freedom to ask it a general question and to ask it to
Correct.
perform an action.
You can,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Um,
Right.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're
If that's
just,
the case, dude, I'm just gonna start building random stuff and make it do a bunch of wrong things and then I'm suing. That's my path.
there you go. Yeah, I didn't know it worked like that, so that's really cool.
It can work like that because it has like the typical, like, I think anything you might know about automation workflows, right? But then like you can create agents that have access to knowledge bases and access to tools that you have to like set up yourself, right? But then you can
So,
attach it. Like I think Telegram was the name of the one that most people use to send it messages, or you can connect WhatsApp and like talk to it.
mm,
Or people have done like other voice ones where they can call, they can call it or something like that and
right.
talk to it.
So maybe they're putting the responsibility on the service provider then, like on Telegram, because that was the input channel. I don't
Maybe.
know.
Yeah, maybe. But interesting. So it was still a huge update from OpenAI.
Okay.
I was kind of excited because I wanted to try it out, but then it's only available to if you have like a business account and above. So yeah, interesting. But I would definitely go watch the video if I were you,
I will.
just to
I
get some
absolutely
insight into it, and even like the custom connector stuff with building your own MCPs and adding it to it. Even that alone actually could be like super super useful.
Yeah, totally. This is it's giving me PTSD of the custom GPTs. Before custom GPTs came out and everyone was just like, I have a professional grant writing assistant. I have a professional accounting assistant. And then custom GPTs came out and all these businesses were just like,
Destroyed.
yeah, damn.
Crash and
So
burn.
crash and burn. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see, man. That's the thing, right? Again, with these like big powerhouses, like they're gonna have these updates, and it's gonna. I think that's why too. Sorry, like really quickly,
Yeah.
the investors into AI businesses.
Yeah.
I think that's like also like their biggest scare because I've heard so many stories of these crazy valuations for some of
Mhm.
these, like we'll call them GPT wrapper companies at the beginning, right? That a new update comes out from ChatGPT or one of the other big models,
Mhm.
and it makes them like pretty relevant now. And then these investments just crash.
Totally.
They're like, well, you're going to have a massive down round. You're losing all this revenue. And
Yeah,
people just like throw their hands up and be like, all right, a loss is a loss. We move on. But
that's right.
it's like very common. Yeah.
Yeah. Adam was just talking to capacitive.ai or
Right.
capacitative.ai.
Yeah.
And he was telling me that, so it's just two guys, but they are YC backed and they have a tool where they are basically just trying to connect to as many MCP servers as possible or build them themselves.
Yep.
That's doing basically what Project Adam does. So
Yep.
yeah, it's
They,
pretty,
yeah. Adam was talking to it yesterday with us and a bunch of the students that are helping with the Adam project.
yeah.
And yeah, he was saying that like, yeah, they're trying to do more MCPs, but right now they're using, I'm just search it up here, Pipe Dream.
Yes,
You-
pipe dream.
yeah,
That's right.
Pipe Dream, which is like, allows for a lot of integrations, but they say they have like 3,000 integrations, but like 98% of them are, through Pipe Dream. Which to me, I imagine is like very similar to like a Zapier, a Make, N8N, in that realm.
Yeah.
But I think they see the power of MCPs, right? And
Yeah.
so they're trying to do more of it, but it's, yeah, there's a struggle to build them efficiently and quick enough and secure enough. So, but it's cool. It is definitely is cool, to know that they're, they're YC backed means that like, people obviously saw value in it. So it's a
Yeah.
great validation for the Adam project, right? So,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's pretty cool. I told him I think he had the demo and I think, he was actually going to get like an account to play around with it. So it'd be
Oh,
interesting to hear
really?
how yeah.
Cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
so
Awesome.
yeah, I think he might play around with it. So I'd be interested to hear how he thought about it after playing around with it for a bit.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, quick thing. I don't know if you
Yeah.
saw, but we had another sale with Ship Angular this week.
Do we really?
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Wow. Very
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah, I
see it
was
because
like,
I don't get a notification. I gotta actually go into like Stripe or anything like that to actually go see.
yeah.
But that's cool.
Yeah, I was kind of going through everything yesterday.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shoot, we got another sale on Ship Angular. So yeah,
Wow.
that's super sweet. Cool, man. I
Cool.
like the idea of like a um, quick AI digest is what I'll call it in the beginning of the pod, right?
Yeah.
Um,
What's new in
yeah,
AI this week?
do it super quick. Cool.
Nice, man. Hey, I have a question for you.
Yeah,
Have you used Hugging Face?
I've never used Hugging Face. No.
Okay. Because I was like maybe like a month or so ago, I was like doing just a huge dive into as many AI tools or resources as I possibly could just to see what was out there, see what I'm missing. And I ran across Hugging Face. And again, it's just this like open source, open community type of project, right? But I want to explore more, but I wanted to ask if you've ever explored it because I know like Dan actually uses Hugging Face quite a bit as well too. And I know like someone like my brother loves open source, open community projects
Totally.
like that. So yeah, anyway, okay. I don't know much about it. I just was curious if you did.
Yeah, I've never used it. I did look into it when I was like looking into like LangChain, when
Yeah.
LangChain was like early Hugging Face, but I've never used it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because they have a bunch of their own models, right, that people make. I want to see
Yeah.
here. Huggingface.co.
Yeah. Yeah, take a
Yeah.
look. Let me know what you think, and like see if you want to like benchmark against other models.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool because there's a lot going on here. Yeah, you can tell when it's so funny when you go to the page, like it looks very like open community project vibey. Like it
Cool.
just looks like to me it looks like a kind of like a GitHub, like very like like what's it called? Like text command line type of
Very
vibe.
like I call it, yeah, developer E.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah,
that's right. Exactly.
developer
Exactly.
E.
Cool, man. Was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
No, this is great. This was great.
Cool. Sounds good. For everyone listening, we are going to start bringing some fun guests onto the podcast as well too. So stay tuned for that. But Otherwise, you can find us on Spotify, on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts. So leave a review, leave a comment, give us any feedback about it. We appreciate if you tune in, and hopefully you like all the updates on AI and us jamming out about different AI stuff, things in tech happening. We're always trying to bring the best value to everyone here. But thank you, everyone, and we'll see you next week.
Peace.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Super SaaS Pros with Cory and Jayde. We'll see you next time.